Karma Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. Chapter 6 Non Attachment is the complete self abnegation. You will find various classes of men in this world. First, there are the godmen whose self abnegation is complete and who do only good to others even at the sacrifice of their own life. These are the highest of men. If there are 100 of such in any country, that country need never despair, but they are unfortunately too few. Then there are the good men who do good to others so long as it does not injure themselves. And there is a third class who do good to themselves, injure others. It is said by a Sanskrit poet that there is a fourth unnameable class of people who injure others mainly for injury's sake. Just as there are at one pole of existence the highest good men who do good for the sake of doing good, so at the other people there are others who injure others just for the sake of the injury. They do not gain anything thereby, but it is their nature to do evil. Here are two Sanskrit words. The one is pravritti, which means revolving towards, and the other is nivritti, which means revolving away. The revolving towards is what we call the world, the I and mine. It includes all those things which are always enriching that me by wealth and money and power and name and fame, and which are of a grasping nature, always tending to accumulate everything in one center. The center being myself, that is the pravritti, the natural tendency of every human being, taking everything from everywhere and heaping it around one center, that center being man's own sweet self. When this tendency begins to break, when it is nivritti or going away from, then begin morality and religion. Both pravritti and nivritti are of the nature of work. The former is evil work and the later is good work. This nivritti is the fundamental basis of all morality and all religion, and the very perfection of it is entire self-abnegation, readiness to sacrifice mind and body and everything for another being. When a man has reached this state, he has attained to the perfection of karma yoga. This is the highest result of good works. Although a man who has not studied a single system of philosophy, although he does not believe in any God and never has believed, although he has not prayed even once in his whole life, if the simple power of good actions has brought him to the state where he is ready to give up his life and all else for others, he has arrived at the same point to which the religious man will come through his prayers and the philosopher through his knowledge. And so you may find that the philosopher, the worker, and the devotee all meet at one point, that one point being self-abnegation. However much the systems of philosophy and religion may differ, all mankind stand in reverence and awe before the man who is ready to sacrifice himself for others. Here it is not at all any question of creed or doctrine. Even men who are very much opposed to all the religious ideas, when they see one of these acts of complete self-sacrifice, feel that they must revere it. Have you not seen even a most bigoted Christian, when he reads Edwin Arnold's Light of Asia, stand in reverence of Buddha, who preached no God, preached nothing but self-sacrifice? The only thing is that the bigot does not know that his own end and aim in life is exactly the same as that of those from whom he differs. The worshipper, by keeping constantly before him the idea of God and the surrounding of good, comes to the same point at last and says, "This will, thy will be done," and gives nothing to himself. That is self-abnegation. The philosopher with his knowledge sees that the seeing self is a delusion and easily gives it up. It is self-abnegation. So karma, bhakti and jnana all meet here, and this is what was meant by all the great preachers of ancient times when they taught that God is not the world. There is one thing which the world and another which is God, and this distinction is very true. What they mean by world is selfishness, and selfishness is God. One may live on a throne in a golden palace and be perfectly unselfish, and then he is in God. Another may live in a hut and wear rags and have nothing in the world, yet if he is selfish, he is intensely merged in the world. To come back to one of our main points, we say that we cannot do good without at the same time doing some evil, or do evil without doing some good. Knowing this, how can we work? There have therefore been sects in this world who have in an astoundingly prosperous way preached slow suicide as the only means to get out of the world. Because if a man lives, he has to kill poor little animals and plants, or do injury to something or someone. So according to them, the only way out of the world is to die. The Jains have preached this doctrine as the highest title. This teaching seems to be very logical, but the true solution is found in the Gita. It is a theory of non-attachment, to be attached to nothing while doing your work of life. Know that you are separated entirely from the world, though you are in the world, and that whatever you may be doing in it, you are not doing that for your own sake. Any action that you do for yourself will bring its effect to bear upon you. If it is a good action, you will have to take the good effect, and if bad, you will have to take the bad effect. But any action that is not done for your own sake, whatever it be, will have no effect on you. There is it to be found a very expressive sentence in the scriptures embodying this idea. Even if he kill the whole universe, or be himself killed, he is neither the killer nor the killed. When he knows that he is not doing anything for himself at all. Therefore, Karma Yoga teaches, do not give up the world, live in the world, imbibe its influences as much as you can, but if it be for your own enjoyment's sake, work not at all. Enjoyment should not be the goal. First kill yourself and then take the whole world as yourself, as the old Christians used to say. The old man must die. The old man is a selfish idea that the whole world is made for our enjoyment. Foolish parents teach the children to pray, O Lord, thou hast created this sun for me and this moon for me, as if the Lord has had nothing else to do than to create everything for these babies. Do not teach your children such nonsense. Then again, there are people who are foolish in another way. They teach us that all these animals were created for us to kill and eat, and that this universe is for the enjoyment of man. That is all foolishness. A tiger may say, man was created for me, and pray, O Lord, how wicked are these men who do not come and place themselves before me to be eaten. They are breaking your law. If the world is created for us, we are also created for the world. That this world is created for enjoyment is the most wicked idea that holds us down. This world is not for our sake. Millions pass out of it every year. The world does not feel it. Millions of others are supplied in the place just as much as the world is for us. So we also are for the world to work properly. Therefore, we have first to give up the idea of attachment. Secondly, do not mix in the fray. Hold yourself as a witness and go on working. My master used to say, look upon your children as a nurse does. Nurse will take your baby and fondle it and play with it and behave towards it as gently as if it were her own child. But as soon as you give her notice to quit, she is ready to start up bag and baggage from the house. Everything in the shape of attachment is forgotten. It will not give the ordinary nurse the least pang to leave her children and take up other children. Even so are you to be with all that you consider your own. You are the nurse, and if you believe in God, believe that all these things which you consider yours are really His. The greatest weakness of an insinuates itself as the greatest good and strength. It is a weakness to strength that anyone is dependent on me and that I can do good to another. This belief is the mother of all our attachment, and through this attachment comes all our pain. We must inform our minds that no one in this universe depends upon us. Not one beggar depends on our charity, not one soul on our kindness, not one living thing on our health. All are held on by nature and will be also held even though millions of us were not here. The course of nature will not stop for such as you and me. It is, as already pointed out, only a blessed privilege to you and to me that we are allowed in the way of helping others, to educate others. This is a great lesson to learn in life, and when we have learned it fully, we shall never be unhappy. We can go and mix without harm in society in way and every way. You may have wives and husbands and regiments of servants and kingdoms to govern. If only you act on the principle that the world is not for you and does not inevitably need you, they can do you no harm. This very year, some of your friends may have died. Is this world waiting without going on, no for them to come again? Is its current stop? No, it goes on. So drive out of your mind the idea that you have to do something for the world. The world does not require any help from you. It is sheer nonsense on the part of any man to think that he is born to help the world. It is simply pride. It is selfishness insinuating itself in the form of virtue. When you have trained your mind and your nerves to realize this idea of the world's non-dependence on you or on anybody, there will be no reaction in the form of pain resulting from work. When you give something to a man and expect nothing, do not even expect the man to be grateful. His ingratitude will not tell upon you, because you never expected anything, never thought you had any right to anything in the way of return. You gave him what he deserved. His own karma got it for him. Your karma made you the carrier thereof. Why should you be proud of having given away something? You are the porter that carried the money or other kind of gift, and the world deserved it by its own karma. Where is then the reason for pride in you? There is nothing very great in what you give to the world. When you have acquired the feeling of non-attachment, there will then be neither good nor evil for you. It is only selfishness that causes the difference between good and evil. It is very hard thing to understand, but you will become to learn in time that nothing in the universe has power over you until you allow it to exercise such a power. Nothing has power over the self of man until the self becomes a fool and loses independence. So by non-attachment you overcome and deny the power of anything to act upon you. It is very easy to say that nothing has the right to act upon you until you allow it to do so. But what is the true sign of the man who really does not allow anything to work upon him, who is neither happy nor unhappy when acted upon the external world? The sign is that good or evil or ill fortune causes no change in his mind. In all conditions he continues to remain the same.